up.
Okay, yeah,
And
it's
I just
up. It's up.
Is that a
okay.
spelling mistake I see?
Um,
It's up.
Grout?
It's
so
right.
so in the next 5 minutes, I'm not going to try to defend the term rape culture that people don't like. I know that people sometimes perceive it as being meaning a culture where either a lot of rapes happen or a place where people think it's okay to rape, and that's not really what I want to talk about tonight. So instead of talking about the term, which just gets in the way, we're going to move that aside, and I want to talk about the problem. And what you're looking at right now is the results of the grand jury investigation in Pennsylvania when they did the investigation into child sex abuse by Catholic priests in 6 Pennsylvania dioceses. And as you can see from this image, the grand jury found a pattern of behavior. I mean, they're looking at things that the Catholic Church have been doing for years, like deficient and biased investigations, misleading or lack of public announcements, use of euphemism to minimize the conduct. And they were looking at it from a criminal point of view, like how do you organize a conspiracy? So now if you could kick over to the one with all of the big pictures, it says how the Catholic Church constructed its rape culture. What I
Okay. Oh yeah, I see it. I
sorry,
see it. I
there's
see it.
only there's only a couple.
Okay.
So what I did was when I watched the press conference, I started noticing things as they were talking because I do social science and you start to see some patterns and in their behavior. And I went back and I watched it a second time and then I coded all the things I saw them doing. And this picture where it has a diagram about how the Catholic Church constructed its rape culture is actually the finished puzzle. If you think of all the things I looked at, and it aggregates up to a bigger pattern. So we're looking at the finished picture, and then there's 2 more slides, and then we'll be done. But basically, the idea here is that the Catholic Church had a motivation, which is they wanted to cover their ass. They didn't want to get in trouble for the abuse their priests were doing. So what did they do? They used the powers that they have, not only as individuals, but as the church. You know, they're acting as a cardinal or a bishop or something like that. And the way that they protected the church was to try to control language around the abuse, to control the victims who themselves were abused, and control information about abuse so they could cover their ass. And then they also used their institutional advantages to help them cover it up. So we're getting through this so fast. If
Yeah,
we
I
can
can
go,
tell you the chat is just absolutely on board with this right now.
okay.
They are loving
So
every second of this. Go ahead.
I'm
You're
almost done.
opening their minds, Kristi. They'd never realized, that they were part of the systemic oppression. Yeah, go on, continue.
I'm actually talking about a specific instance of the
Sure.
Catholic Church abusing children, and that was investigated by a grand jury. So I'm using what the grand jury put out here. So in terms of their external institutional powers, these are the things that kind of make them, as an institution, able to do things that normal individuals wouldn't do when you put them all together. So, the Catholic Church exists beyond anyone's lifetime. It's existed for 2,000 years, so it can outwait the statute of limitations. It can hire expensive law firms. It can use its relationships with priests and judges in a city to try to quash things. And then on the other side, it also used its power to treat the criminal conduct of its priests as medical issues. It used its power to move priests between parishes. It gave jobs and financially supported the priests who were doing the abuse, not the victims. And then they would send them out, the priests, as you might know, they send them out to treatment, to alcoholic recovery programs, and then say, oh, they're better now, and put them back in the community. They could do that because they're the church and they can move people around like that. And that's kind of like part of the power that they were using to cover their ass. So this is the last slide. The last slide is how they controlled things. So if you could swap it over to the blue one.
Okay. Let me see. Let me check. So it's
Yeah.
the what's the heading on it?
It says control victims, control language, and control information.
Okay. Yes, I see it. I see it. I see it. I'll put
So
it up.
when I watched the, I think it was like 2-hour press conference, these were the notes I sort of made about what they were doing. And when I made all the notes, then afterwards, I looked to see what kind of connected them. Did they go together in a series of behavior, like, sending a priest out to get treatment and then removing him someplace else? That kind of linked behavior. And when I did, I found that there were these 3 dimensions on which the Catholic Church worked as a church to control the information and cover their ass. They had the institutional abuse of faith, with like the confessional and the use of shame in the Catholic Church, and the use of euphemisms to control, to cover up their crimes. So that's sort of like the control the victims and control the language. In terms of controlling information, they use NDAs. They had people sign NDAs so that they wouldn't talk about the abuse that happened in the church. And they kept that information in their secret archives. And they underreported crimes to the police. They would run internal investigations. So people felt like stuff was being done, but they were entirely biased. And they used pressure to keep people silent and keep everything in-house. So it's not merely the fact that these crimes happened, but there was an entire institution that was backing the priests. And the horrible thing about this is that you have criminals who will go out there and who are sexual predators. But when the Catholic Church has a sexual predator and it chooses to cover its ass, men, because it's the Catholic Church, so it's all men, who come in there who would never take part in a cover-up or never try to cover up this kind of behavior, their whole jobs, their lives, their household, everything depends on the Catholic Church. So they choose, if the first instance they find out this happens and they choose not to blow the whistle or leave the church, they're now complicit. And so now they have a buy-in to it. So it just keeps going and expands, and it goes for decades and decades and decades. And It's this culture inside that keeps moving the priest around that lets the abuse keep happening. And that's Kristi, what I wanted to focus on. And now I'm done.
Okay. No, I just have a question. Okay. Well, obviously, by definition, all of these priests are men, right? And so the priests, the cardinals, the bishops, and what have you, the church hierarchy, they're all male, right? And, the vast majority of these instances of child sexual abuse are of boys. So couldn't we say that really it's a gay rape culture?
It's not it's the structure of power. So if you look, for instance, another link that I gave to Ethan was
wait.
No, just let me explain.
Has a good point.
Yeah, isn't it a gay?
Well, what we're focusing on here is the child sex abuse, but we've also seen that since Me Too, women who are nuns are coming forward to report abuse of priests, and the Catholic Church
but the
uses
vast
the same
majority are of boys, of young men, boys, other priests, a lot of gay relationships between different priests, and so isn't it really a gay rape?
But when you look at for instance, like the gymnast abuse scandal.
Well, wait. In the general population, gays are what? Less than 10% of the population. 5%. Some say 3%. Some say 7%. Let's just posit that it's less than 10%, right? That's in the general population. But among priests and among sexual abuse victims, it's more than 50%, and some statistics say it's closer to 5% are male. So isn't this a gay rape culture?
Again, I'm looking at the way power is used by people in authority, and that structure. Wait. No, the people who are covering it up. It's not. If you look at the structure, it's the same structure that's used at, say, the Michigan University, where the guy was abusing gymnasts for years. It's the same sort of structure of
we're not talking
administration.
About gymnasts in Boston. No, we're talking about Catholic priests. So isn't it really a gay problem?
Again, this is why I'm talking about the power structure. You're talking about the individuals.
Yiannopoulos talked about how some priest wanted him to suck his dick, right? I mean, we're really talking about a gay problem. Why don't you focus it as a gay issue? Why do you say it's a male rape culture issue when it's really a gay rape culture issue? Well, does it mean that you prioritize homosexuals?
If you stop talking, I can answer the question, which is if you can take, right? So wait, let me answer. If you take the power structure that I've identified here about the way that there's a cover up and the control of information and the control of victims, you find that in other instances where institutions are involved. So I know that you want to focus on the individuals, but that's not what I'm focusing on. I'm talking about the process behind it, and that process can apply to any kind of victim and any kind of perpetrator. It is the power structure that I'm pointing out here. And I know you want to focus on the victims, but that's not what I'm focusing on.
Oh, the victims don't matter. It's only the structure and the institution that matters.
No, I didn't say that either. I'm saying that's what I'm looking at.
You just said that you care about.
I said that's what I'm looking at.
By the way, I'm being told that Jeff Holiday is Catholic. I just want
it all adds up.
It's all starting to come together.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, but Kristi, it's a gay issue.
Yeah,
It's
if there were no gays there would be no problem.
Yeah.
The same process that is used in the child abuse cases is also used to cover up abuse of nuns. So again, it's a process that I'm pointing out. And if you guys keep focusing, wait, let me finish. Let me finish.
Uh-huh.
Right? If you actually look at the process, yeah, that often. With Coach.
Please.
But if you look at the process, it's the process that enables the repeated abuse, and it's the predators who reoffend and who create new victims. That the culture part of it is what I wanted to focus on. If the Catholic Church had stood up and done what was right, if priests had stood up to their people above them, or if the people in authority had said no, this would have been different. And that's what I'm pointing to. It's the culpability of those people who are helping enable and protect and move things around.
I agree.
That needs to be looked at. And that's what I'm looking at. So if you want to look at individuals, you can, but I'm not looking at individuals.
You and I agree. Kristi, you see, you are saying that it's the people in authority in the Catholic Church who make this culture happen, sometimes because they themselves were victims when they were...
And sometimes at universities, and sometimes in athletic departments, and other institutions.
So it's an issue of homosexual abuse.
No, it's an issue of power.
That goes on. Yeah, powerful homosexuals who abuse their authority and create the situation. Why do you call it a rape culture when it's really a homosexual culture?
What part of this also applies to Michigan? The problem. It's the same structure. Go ahead, Kevin. Go ahead. I'm repeating myself now.
It clearly isn't just a homosexual thing at all, because, for instance, the Muslim rape gangs, of which much has been made, men abusing women.
Girls. Yeah. But we're not talking about the Muslim rape gangs. We're talking about the Catholic Church.
Wait, are you agreeing that there are Muslim rape gangs, Kevin?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Am I agreeing that there is? I mean, they've been convicted, of course there are.
Okay, good.
My point being that it's clearly not a matter of, it's just the gays that are doing it.
It's also the Muslims.
It isn't.
It's also the Muslims.
Yeah, I was going to say the
Muslims and the gays.
Yeah.
And straight cis heteros like us, we're scot-free, You're saying that, right, Kevin? Kevin? Hello?
I don't even know.
It's a bad connection.
Yeah, I think he does, because he's been kind of cutting in and out the whole night, so it might be the connection. A couple comments. Keemstar says, "Thank you, Kristi, a.k.a. Zoom's sister. I disavow the Catholic Church." Somebody else, I saw a couple of these comments saying that you raped him with your presentation. You raped the chat. Which I thought was amusing. I already told you that we could do the presentation before you came on, so I know some people didn't want to hear it, but we have to hear all sides.
Yeah, but I'm really glad, because now we realize that what we're really talking about is a homosexual rape culture, and it's something that we should fight. We should fight this homosexual culture. Yeah, Kevin himself said it. It's Muslim rape culture, and Kristi, you've proven that it's homosexual rape culture.
Yeah,
As a cis hetero male, I'm glad that we have finally established, and two leftists such as yourselves have established the fact that it's the gays and the Muslims who are just raping everybody. And
yeah, you kind of missed the point. No,
wait. Honestly, I know. I know Coach is being facetious and a little bit of like a douche, but he makes a point, kind of like this went from like a joke to like if we're talking about the priests and it's all boys.
Well, no, it's not. Okay, so there's also again, I use the Nadler, right, the guy who was abusing gymnasts for years and years and years, decades.
You're talking about that's gymnast. I'm talking here about Catholic priests, so let's stick to Catholic priests.
No, but see, this is
let her make her point.
Don't change the subject, Kristi. Stick to the Catholic Church. That's what you're talking.
But rape culture, she's trying to like expand and like talk about all the instances, and that's one instance. So go ahead, Kristi.
Right, it's a case study. It's a case study in the use of power, right? So again, Coach is making the mistake of wanting to focus on the individuals, because obviously he wants to, use this to. Wait, no, let me finish. Coach, I let you talk.
Yeah, okay, go.
Okay, right. So what I'm looking at is a case study in how this power operates, and it's not only limited to the Catholic Church. This kind of structure of cover your ass, control information, control victims, control, I forgot my slide, could be applied to other instances as well. And so the point of me, like making them, I did a 50-minute video on this issue, and it's heartbreaking, the men and women who talk about what happened to them. And so, I want to try to get people to see that it's these other things behind the instances of sexual assault that are allowing them to continue, and by pointing it out to help us understand how we need to unpack the Catholic Church. So and other institutions that have these practices. And you keep wanting to reduce it down to gay people because you want to beat up on them. That's your take. But I actually want to try to undermine the institutions that are enabling sexual abuse of kids. And that's why I wanted to present this on the show. So if you want to focus on your, anti-gay agenda, that's fine. But I'm actually trying to help. Wait, I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Right. Whatever it is, your take.
About me. I don't have an anti-gay agenda. I'm just pointing out
whatever your take is. Right?
Catholic are homosexual, and the vast majority of their victims are males.
The same
and
thing
so
basically,
it's a gay rape culture.
And again,
that
you're
bothers
missing the point.
That bothers you, Kristi, and you know
that you for the trees.
Fucked up.
You can't see the forest for the trees, Coach. You have an agenda. You want to. That's fine. Like if you are going to ignore this stuff
now, I
love it. Ignore this stuff in order to stop the sexual abuse of kids. That's fine, but that's what I want to focus on here, to show people that there's more to talk about than just the individual priests. We have to hold institutions accountable.
Can I just comment? Yeah, go ahead, Warski. No, go ahead. No, Warski. Go ahead.
I was going to ask Kristi, like you were talking about the gymnast, the guy who was molesting those chicks. Also, like an example would be like Hollywood, how they found Harvey Weinstein. So
sure, he wanted to cover his ass.
So Coach, what she's basically, he's gay, but there's also guys abusing girls. But her point isn't just the Catholic Church. It's that one. Yes, they were a predominantly gay, sure, but then you have Hollywood where they would make chicks, and that also had gay culture as well, but it also had men making chicks blow them for fucking movie roles and shit. That's what her point is, the institution that is being protected, so you don't want to like lose your job or whatever, so you don't say anything.
Can I just comment on how this is how bizarre this stream is, that we have Kristi Winters, Coach Red Pill arguing over rape culture with Andy Worski interjecting on the side of Kristi Winters.
Andy gets me on this.
What is happening right now? Oh God.
I'm being fair.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I worked with the evidence I had.
Got SJW on me, motherfucker. Damn.
I'm not. But look, I'm gonna like, the thing I would disagree with Kristi in the rape culture is, I would say people who are not brainwashed by these institutions and look from the outside, we could all look and go, yo, that's fucked up. And if we on the outside looked in and went, whatever, that would be a rape culture. Whereas I would just call those rape institutions. It's just like because not everyone's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
boys
and
are being raped.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That when I say rape culture, I'm not saying everybody has these same attitudes. Most people in the Catholic Church oppose, most, and this is not a value that they're supposed to espouse, but it happens anyway. And that's the problem. So yeah, I'm not saying, and I think there is a misuse when someone says, I would say the Catholic Church has a rape culture. At this point, it's so institutionalized, but I think that's a better phrase, a way to use the idea than the way that I think it's tossed about on Twitter.
So did you do this study to kind of look, or at least focus on this area to try to make, so when a lot of times when you hear rape culture, it's feminists and they're saying, oh God, heterosexual male rape culture, and God, this is disgusting, white men suck and all this. Did you pick this topic to kind of show that when the term, that at least how you describe rape culture and how you use it, it's not all about, slamming, just all regular everyday white men, and that it goes to institutional type stuff.
Right. It's not like the problem with, rape tends to be a problem with serial predators. So if you look at it's not like you map on one sexual assault to every man. That's not how it works. It's the predators reoffending or re-victimizing, committing more crimes. That is the bulk of sexual predation. And the rape culture let that happen. And that's why if we see that, you cut it off. Coach, just let me finish.
Yeah.
And so I think that, that's a good point. That part of the reason I did this video, one was, Noel Plum said really dumb things about this ages ago, and I keep trying to prove, I keep showing he's wrong on it. But yeah, that's it. It's see beyond the actual, if you see past not only the crimes, because those are horrible and we tend to focus on those, but you look past that to the institutions, we can do better to solve the problem. And it's not, and it's identifying the source of the power and the problem, not just saying, like you can say X is a rape culture, but that doesn't really help you if you don't understand, the process behind it. And I do think that the Catholic Church has a rape culture. I think Weinstein had a rape culture.
All right, I'm going to call Tom on this, Coach. Give your final thoughts, Coach. I'm going to call Tom on this.
Yeah. So basically, Hollywood is a rape culture.
No, I said Harvey Weinstein's business was.
Well, what Harvey Weinstein does is pretty prevalent throughout Hollywood. I mean, we have the Kevin Spacey issue. There are like pedophilic rings in Hollywood. All kinds of crazy.
Right, but Kevin Spacey's instance wasn't rape culture. That was just sexual assault.
All right.
Oh, it wasn't. Wait, hang on a second.
Coach, we're trying to wrap this up.
Okay. No, but it's like, why are you so willing to say that the Catholic Church is a rape culture, but you're unwilling to say that Hollywood is a rape culture?
Well, again, if you point to Kevin Spacey, he committed a crime, but he didn't have a team of lawyers.
And he has a team of lawyers, and he has a whole bunch of people who protect his.
I'm with Ethan. Look, go look
He's never making it to Tennessee.
You're unwilling to say that Hollywood has a rape culture.
Well, I mean, at certain points it was nice. We had it back and forth. I mean, we could talk about it for another hour, and I don't think that's going to do anything. I mean, anyway.
It's an agency structure difference. Just make
it's an agency structure difference. It sounds like so much bullshit in order to not label Hollywood a rape culture. You want to have your cake and eat it too, huh? That's it? You want to be nice to Hollywood and fuck over the Catholic Church?
No, I would say that there are several instances of rape culture within Hollywood. Yeah, like the Catholic Church has a rape culture, Hollywood has a rape culture. But is it a rape culture? If you want to say so, if you want to say Hollywood is a rape culture, I'll quote that for you, Coach.
All right.
My feminist videos.
We see you. Like,
we're good, Coach.
Eat a bullet. Shut up. Fuck. Jesus, how nice could someone be until you just say shut up and die?
Well, I guess I know who's fighting on Saturday. It's Coach Redcon and Andy Worski
now.
I'll squash Andy with my belly, and that'll be that. I got the
don't make me hard.
Oh no, that's rape culture.
Oh my goodness!
No, he likes it.
Let's take a couple callers. Oh my God! What? This is truly the bizarre.
Actually, guys, I do have to split.
All right, get out of here, Coach. Now you leave. Now you leave. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm embarrassed. I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding. Thank you, Coach, for adding some back and forth to that. I did like it a little bit. Go ahead.
Thanks for Kevin, Kristi. Pleasure as always. Andy, Zidane. Hey man, Ethan, you better fucking pick me up tomorrow. Man.
I'm going to.
Yeah, you better not forget it. You know, not fall asleep drunk.
I'm not even gonna drink till I pick up Coach.
Okay.
I'll probably be taking a nap whenever I get to fucking Knoxville because I ain't even gonna go to sleep. I'm just gonna drive straight on through. All right, Coach. Thank you. Man.
Later, Coach.